One of these Sundays, I'm going to do this for 20 minutes and see how many people actually get up from being uncomfortable, from being comfortable. But not today. A number of years ago, I was going to Gainesville to pick up my little godchild. I don't recall her age. I'm not really sure. I think she's about 7, I think, not 5. But anyway, so we were in the car, and you know, the kids, you have to have them in the back seat. She's just chatting away, you know, how you do when you're a kid, and some of us still do as an adult. We just talk. You know, she was just going on and on and on, chatting and sharing, and she was very philosophical as a child, and I welcome that, because so am I. And so, anyway, so it got real quiet, and all of a sudden she started just talking up a storm, and she said, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. And I said, what? What doesn't make any sense? She said, I don't understand. We're born naked, and then we live, and then we get old, and then we're naked again, and then we die. And she said, I just don't understand. What's it all about? And I looked back at her in the rearview mirror, and I went, I don't either. You know, welcome to humanity. And I know all of you have had that thought yourself, right? You've had that thought, what is this all about? Somewhere between the sense of being naked coming in and the sense of going out. And in between all of those pieces, what makes it make sense? What makes it make sense is our consciousness and our awareness of what we put on as our clothes. And I'm not talking about physical clothes. We're glad all of you are wearing clothes today. Very grateful for that. And all that. But we're not talking about clothes in a literal sense. We're talking about the clothes of our own consciousness, the clothes of our own understanding, the clothes of our believability of how we hold something to be true for ourselves, and how we make an agreement with whatever it is that we hold sacred as a believability for ourselves. We make a sacred agreement that is so. And those are the clothes. And as Michael is saying, take it out of my hands, that's what we do often in the awakening that we have together as we celebrate on Sunday, is we have this aha, or we have this epiphany of, oh my gosh, I'm holding this, and I don't need to. I'm holding on to it, and I don't need to carry it anymore. I'm telling this story, and it's so old, it's older than I am. Why am I carrying it? It belonged to my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, and I can let this go. Why am I holding on to these clothes, to the depth of my life? Connect with you? And so in that connection and in that space, until we understand that, it doesn't make sense. Because we feel like life is just happening to us. We feel like God isn't there for us. We feel like circumstances that we could pray victim to those. We could say, why is this happening to me? But until we are aware that we are the ones accepting the clothing, and that's the beauty of the unity teaching, it's a co-creation, co-responsibility. And it forces us, by the very nature of that agreement, to grow. Now, of course, in the word grow is the word ow. That word is there, and thus we're talking today about April showers bring May flowers. Well, as a kid, that had a different meaning to me. I remember still working on the bulletin board team and putting that up there with the beautiful flowers, because it simply meant, understandably so, the more rain you have, the prettier the flowers are. You can count on those flowers coming. I love it when it rains. Some people go on and on and on. They can't drive in the rain. What is that? Why can't people drive here in the rain? I don't know. They act like it's snow and they got to put on rain tires. I mean, I love rain. I love the smell of rain. I love to go outside in the rain. I love to get wet by the rain. And you see everybody just terrified in their cars. Like, it's raining. I can't get out. I'm stuck. I can't get out, it's raining. I don't want to get wet. It's like, free yourself from that. You know, your best day is when you get wet by nature. But I know, that just came out. I didn't do that at the 9:30, Anyway, back to principle. So in that space, that's how a lot of people are about life, because in another way of looking at the rain brings the flowers is that that's true in our lives, that the challenges bring the rewards. You know, the things we're walking through, we wake up one day and wow, we walk through it. We're bigger, bolder, better, and brighter, right? But it's the walking through it. And it's the walking through it when you're in the midst of this challenge that you called in and prayed into your life so you could grow. It's in the middle of that you're experiencing that's when it's decided how bright your light's going to be, of your willingness and your capacity to actually walk through it, to take on a new sense of identification so you don't hold on to, this is the way that I'm used to, this is the way that I've always been, this is what I thought, and all the chatter that goes with it. There's a wonderful acronym that is very helpful, I think, that supports people when you're going through one phase of your life into another. And it's called the THINK acronym. The THINK acronym. Easy for us. Change your thinking, change your life, yes? And so what it equates to is that the T would say, so when you're talking about your life and you're sharing with your friends the changes you're going through, because if you're human, you're going through changes. If I ask right now who's going through 3 changes all at one time, all of you would stand up. Amen? Take a breath. Yeah. So when you're going through these changes and you're sharing them with people and you're just into the chatter of it, using the think method, you ask yourself, the T, is what I'm saying truthful? Is what I'm saying truthful? And that's something that's crucial to the depth of being a Unity student. With words having power, what comes out of our mouths? You know, somebody will say, Reverend Temple, you got to be careful what you ask for. And I think, that's not a true statement. You don't believe that statement to be true. Because if you believed that statement was true, be careful what you ask for, you would ask for something so good, it would blow your socks off. Is it truthful? Is it truthful? A person that says, I can't take on one more thing. Well, that's not truthful. If somebody walked up to you and gave you a big check and told you, go to Italy on me, would you say, I can't take on one more thing? I can't take on one more thing. Can't take it. Can't take it. So, it's not a true statement. And this is the part that often that people don't get in Unity. Is truly, they don't get that, because I catch myself all the time. And they tell me they don't get it, so I'm not judging them. But they're not lining up with, what am I saying, and is it truthful? Is it truthful? If it's not truthful, don't say it, okay? Is it helpful? Is what I'm going on about to somebody else, is it helpful? Or is it just keeping the vibe alive? Is it just one prayer that keeps repeating itself over and over and over again? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring, is the I. Is it inspiring? Because I'm telling this story about the whatever, is it really inspiring the person I'm telling it to? Is it going to lift them? The N in THINK acronym is it needed? Is it needed? Is it necessary? And the K is it kind? And that's going to wipe a lot of the conversations out right there. Is it kind? I can meet you for a short lunch today. Is it kind? Is it kind? And so that's that process. Because we're working with a set of values and a set of principles that shows us how God can happen through us. On Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, we're going to be holding a sacred intention here for healing, for physical healing, for emotional healing, for energy healing, for age healing, for relationship healing, whatever it is. We're going to hold this intention, and we're holding this attention that's coming from what they do in Abidjan, Brazil, of that sacred space and that energy. And they use a triangle that affirms the process in which they live. Denise has a slide there for us. Fé, amor, caridade. And in this, faith, love, and charity, this is the core in which they live. They live and they move and they have their being in this. And so for 50 years, they've been focusing on their mission of faith, of love, of charity. And millions of people have come from all over the world to walk into this dimension to say, all is possible. All is possible. The great healer, God, through us, heals. Well, in unity, we're no different. This space of First Unity is being held since 1924. We've been holding on, grounded, moving forward with a set of principles. There is only one presence and one power, and that is the power for good, and it is always working in my life. That power expresses through me as that we are one and the same, like the example as Jesus, not the exception. My relationship to God is and as and always will be. Yes? This is a principle that it's not like on Wednesday it doesn't work. No. It's always you can take it wherever you go for your life, for your energy field, for that experience, for that expression. But what happens when we go through life changes is often it's our faith that feels the most tested. Would you agree? And people go, wow, this is going on in my life, and maybe I'm getting weary, and maybe I don't have enough faith. Well, today, I would ask you to go into a new direction for yourself. When I talk to somebody about having a love relationship, and that person says, well, there's just not any good people out there to choose from. Do you know how much faith you have to keep proving that to be true? Because you have faith in what? There's not good people to choose from. When people say, I'm not able to be healed by this, I need more faith, then we would have to say, you look at where you are. You have faith that you're not being healed. Can you stay with me in this? Because it's real important, because when you say, I was committed to this new 12-step thing, and I'm with people all over the world, and it didn't work for me. Do you know how much faith you have to have that won't work for you? And see, that's the part in our awareness that we really want to do some deeper inner work. And I feel, if you're with me, I'm ready to go deeper when it comes to my own faith. And I'm asking you, are you willing as well? Yes, let's go deeper, bigger, brighter, more energy. You see, let's be in that space, because we've been having faith all along. But what have we been feeding with our faith? What have we been feeding? I've been in this space, and when my teacher told me this many years ago, I didn't like it, because the truth, it becomes natural, but at first it irritates you, And so he said, if you still have the same issue for 6 months, you must want it. Everybody take a breath. So I'm working with that one myself. It's like, okay, I am changing my faith in this story. You know how much energy it takes to just kind of be there and be determined that your life is not going to be different? It takes a lot of energy, doesn't it? So we're going to free ourselves from that identity, aren't we? Right. We're going to have faith in something new, of where we want to be versus where we've left behind, right? So we can get our flowers or whatever, right? In Scripture, I love Ecclesiastes. It's just so pure and so beautiful. And Diana Rankin is teaching Bible here at the campus, Metaphysical. So if you want more of these nuggets, she has them. So in Ecclesiastes, we all seem to know for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. That's actually Reverend Catherine's favorite scripture too. And there is that time and there is that purpose. There's a time to laugh. There's a time to cry. There's a time to be born. There's a time to die. But if you read on and take the time to do that this week when you're doing your journaling, it just gets better and better. Beyond the poetic part, here's what it says. God has made everything suitable for its time. Moreover, God has put a sense of past and future into our minds. Yet they cannot find out what God has done from the beginning to the end. I know that there is nothing better than them than to be happy and enjoy themselves as long as they live. Long as they live. Moreover, it is God's gift that all should eat and drink and take pleasure in all their toil. I know that whatever God does endures forever. Not just a moment, but forever. Nothing can be added to it, nor anything taken from it. God has done this so that we shall all stand in awe of our lives. How many of you can stand in awe of your life? Wow. That's the space that we want to hold. And then it says clearly, that which is already has been, that which is to be already is. That which is to be already is. Can you feel that? What is to be already is. So when I say, and so it is, it's not just filler. You know, it's not just the space of the piano stopping, or when we say a prayer and we say, and so it is, we know it is. Because it's already done. So is our faith feeding what's already done? Does that connect with you? Are you making a connection? Well, I was thinking about how in my life, the faith it took for me to become a public person, you know, and because I didn't want to be a public person. Okay, I'm glad I did, so I'll see you after. I didn't want to be a public person, and I avoided it, and I just denied it, and I denied it, and I dreaded it, and I avoided it, and I denied it, and it's not easy being a public person. Anybody that perceives it is, it's not easy being a public person because there's all these projections that come at you all the time, and people see you as somebody else and something else, and a lot of stuff goes into that. But that's a different talk for a different week or something, you know. I won't go there today. But I avoided that, you know, being public. But when I decided to go public and be in this work, I thought, I want to be an extemporaneous speaker. And as I was thinking about that this week, I got so tickled because it occurred to me how many years I was non-extemporaneous so that I could become extemporaneous. I mean, wrap your head around that. It was so much of an ordeal for me to be non-extemporaneous so I could become extemporaneous. I was terrified. I was afraid. I would forget what I was saying. I'd lose my notes. I would forget the point. I'd just kind of go out in the universe land, and, and I'd be terrified, and all these things, and the confidence and the lack of confidence, and then the confidence, and then the lack of confidence, and, all those years of developing that non-extemporaneous comfortability so that I could become extemporaneous. But the point, thank you, I appreciate that. And the point isn't that how I got to be extemporaneous. The point is more about that's the way it works in our lives. You see, for you to become that great healer, to hold the space and the capacity that if we had the believability that every person in this room that had a condition, when they left today, would not have it. Can you imagine that capacity that we could hold? Well, that would require us to go through some feelings, some moments, some questioning, some pondering, testing our faith, pushing ourselves, pushing what we believe, holding it, not telling people, well, I'll be holding, good luck, and, we'll see you on the other side. No, we're going to do it on this side right now, this time, right? But you see, we grow that faith because that's what we do is we grow the faith. When we see somebody, we know the life force is just not there. We hold that capacity. And we're guaranteed that faith is coming through them and in them and as them, and they're going to be running home. They'll just leave their car here in the church parking lot because they just feel so happy about the energy of God, you see. But when are we going to be that much in awe? Because it's going to require us to stretch and be uncomfortable, just like I used to be, so that when we do it now, we hold our prayers and we hold the knowing, then we're going to know it's done. Does that connect with you? It's that same way that when we're all in an economy and we just hear it every day, if we could have one more sheet of paper tell us there's just not enough out there and everything. I keep saying, please don't let the egrets over at the beach read that because they haven't bought that story at all. They think there's plenty, right? And so it's like there is enough. And until we really feel uncomfortable about what would it be like to not have enough, because none of us go out with a U-Haul, when we feel the feeling and we just own it, that's what it feels like not to have enough. I'm glad I felt that because I am now going to be extemporaneous and I'm going to show I always have enough because I always am enough. You see what I mean? So when we make peace with it, there won't be anybody that says, I don't have enough. Because it takes a lot of faith to keep saying repeatedly that's misplaced, I don't have enough, and then prove it to be true. So that's the premise of our lives is let's have some stretch marks. Somebody thought enough of us to stretch so we can come in. Let's stretch so we can truly come in to who we are born to be. God bless you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being in your life force. Thank you for your energy, for your love. Thank you for all that you are, for helping me grow. Thank you for helping me grow. Yes.